after winning the SEC championship last year, it still feels like the Georgia Bulldogs and Kirby Smart left some meat on the bone in 2025. So I'm here to tell you guys why the Georgia Bulldogs will be better in the year 2025. I'm your college football host here at the SEC Unfiltered channel, Dave Shumate, longtime college football personnel guy, general manager in college football. Let's get right to it, guys. But before we do, thanks for pausing there real fast. FanDuel, this segment brought to you by our buddies over at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. But let's get right into it, guys. Why will the Georgia Bulldogs be better in 2025? I'm giving you 3 exact reasons. I think some are going to have stuff to do with on the field. Some have to do with some things a little bit off the field, because I think in college football now, chemistry, morale is as important as it's ever needed to be. Always been important, but especially today with how big social media is, revenue sharing, name, image, likeness, stuff like that, you got to have the team together. But let's get right to it. Starting on the offensive side of the football, we've all griped about Georgia's receivers over the last few years, guys. We've all griped about it. I think they're going to have a true alpha for the first time. When you say the first time, I think Ladd McConkey was a true alpha, but I'm talking about a big-bodied true alpha. Guys, again, George Pickens wasn't a massive guy, but I think he would be in that conversation as well. And then I think I'd even throw A.D. Mitchell at times into that. But Noah Thomas, the Texas A&M transfer, I think is going to be one of the big reasons why Georgia will be improved overall this year. Again, I mentioned they have the true alpha back. I think you have to be explosive in college football. You go watch a lot of his intermediate, deep third contested grabs. Guy has phenomenal body control. Can set up defensive backs to turn his inside left shoulder when they're in phase against him and wait till the last minute. So those defensive backs who are taught to read their hands and eyes can't do that. They're not going to have time. You can tell he's a well-trained machine. Got coached by Holloman Wiggins and James Coley, who is now, remember, James Coley was on Jimbo's staff the last 2 years. He's now in Athens. That was the connection there. So he's going to have the same receiver coach for 3 out of his last 4 years. So this will be big time get for Georgia here. I expect a big year. Zachariah Branch is getting the big publicity, as he should. I think he's going to be used kind of closer to the line of scrimmage in the jet sweeps. He'll be big in the explosive play, but I really think Noah Thomas is going to be that guy for Georgia where my guy's just better than yours. It doesn't matter what kind of scheme you ran. And people get mixed up. There's holes in every defense and offense that you can attack from both sides. There's nothing you can do when you're a guy on the outside or even on the edge on the offensive lineman or offensive line, defensive lineman. If he just beats your guy, there's not much scheming around that. I think that's going to be the X factor Noah Thomas brings in Athens this year, especially settling in first full-time starter Gunnar Stocking. So look for a big year. Big year. I know we're not accustomed to seeing it, Georgia fans and SEC fans who've been following Georgia. I think they're going to have a real dude here on the outside here in Noah Thomas. Second reason, I'm going to go special teams, folks. We don't talk special teams enough in the offseason. I don't know why. I'm guilty of it too now. I'm not pointing at you. I'm not pointing at you. I'm looking at myself too in the mirror. No sports shows I get on and really talk any type of special teams, even from the former football coaches. It's just not sexy. But Georgia had 3 preseason all first-team SEC guy, whatever you want to call them, first-team all-SEC guys, specialists. I mean, Brett Thorson, punter back, averaged 47.6 yards per punt last year, true weapon. Kicker, Peyton Woodring, guy didn't miss a kick under 50 yards. His 2 misses all year were 50 and beyond. You have long snapper Bo Gardner back. There's something to be said for that. And you even throw Zachariah Branch in there as a returner. I think this is where he's going to be the X factor. Again, we don't talk about this stuff enough until we get into the season and your punter shanking 15-yard punts late in the fourth quarter and field position is becoming a battle or becoming a big issue in the game. Your kicker's missing 30 to 40-yard field goals that in college at this level you should be making. And remember, Peyton Woodring did not miss a kick under 50. That's massive. Remember when Alabama had Will Reichard, even Graham Nicholson last year? When you have that kind of kicker, you get in a certain range and play calling starts to get a little conservative at times because you're like, all right, guys, we got 3 points and we're already at the 40-yard line. More times than not, 9 times out of 10. But we don't talk about special teams enough, and they win games in the fall. We see all these post-game reactions and stuff. People complain about their punter, kicker, guy, punt returner fumbling a punt, giving up field position. But we don't talk about that going into the season. That's something Georgia will have an advantage on that other teams in the SEC don't have this year. So if Georgia's going to be better, which, again, we're talking about the defending SEC champions, went to the college football playoff last year, there's still room to improve. And I think it starts with special teams. Before we finish up with my third and final one, guys, do not forget This segment, 3 reasons why Georgia will be better in 2025, is brought to you by our buddies, our proud title sponsors over at FanDuel Sportsbook. Here, FanDuel Sportsbook is here to help you make every moment more. The app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Already have an account? FanDuel Sportsbook offers great promotions every day to all users. Profit boost tokens, new features like Parlay Hub, build your own same game parlay, or choose from one of the popular SGPs already made for you in the Parlay Hub. If you haven't signed up yet, go to FanDuel.com/SECU to learn more. So visit FanDuel.com/SECU and get into the action with offers you don't want to miss. Must be 21 plus and present in select states, for 18 and older and present in D.C. First online real money wager only. First $5 deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under an agreement with the Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit fanduel.com/RG. Call 1-888-789-777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, or visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Guys, I mean, what are you going to go place to? The over-under team total for Georgia, over-under 9.5. Still wild. There's still no SEC team 10 or over, but Georgia 9.5. Most of your tougher games at home. Give me the dogs going over. I got them over. I got Georgia winning the SEC as we stand right now. But I've given you 2 reasons why I think the dogs will be better in 2025. It's going to be tough to top, being an SEC champion, going to the college football playoffs. Remember, I said Noah Thomas, I think he's going to be that alpha, big body receiver, explosive playmaker for Gunnar Stockton to lean on. I think that's one reason. Special teams. They swept the entire first team, all SEC special team selections. Peyton Woodring, Brett Thorson, long snapper Bo Gardner, Zachariah Branch, if you want to throw him in there. Big-time special teams for Georgia. In the third and final, this is the one I was talking about a little bit, folks. A little bit off the field here. We know how talented Georgia is. All things considered, top to bottom, even with you not being able to accumulate the depth that you used to could over it. Nick Saban and Urban Meyer and the boys used to do. Georgia still, from top to bottom, has a top 3 roster, if not the best in college football right now. But last year, what they were missing that I think Gunnar Stockton, and I look at the quarterback spot, because we all talk about it, I think it's the most important position in football, and I'll even go as far as to say it's the most important position in all of sports. Outside of maybe a pro golfer by himself, just because he's out there by himself. But in team sports, quarterback, the most position in all of sports. You got to have a guy people look to. They see a real dude. They don't just see a guy, folks. They see a real dude. They can look in his eyes when stuff's going bad, and it's going to go bad for every team. They can look down to that bench, offense, defense, special teams, and be like, our guys got us. Jake Fromm had that. Stetson Bennett had it for you Georgia listeners. Carson Beck did not have that. I know you guys are listening. You're smart people. You're listening to SEC Unfiltered. You know that. You have the beat of your team. Carson Beck, from people I talked to in that program, I got told early, before the season even started last year, I think even before fall camp, that, hey, no one sees him as that leader. I think if we were really struggling early, and they did, that Alabama game in Tuscaloosa, and he were to step up and kind of tell people to get their crap together, like, hey, we got to step up. This isn't the standard. Hey, you do your job, I'll do my job. Let's effing go. I think people would have looked and laughed, or maybe not in that moment when you're getting your tail beat in Tuscaloosa in the first half, maybe not laughing, but someone would have told him to sit down. It'd have been something like that. I think Gunnar Stockton's got a little bit more of a pulse of the team. I think people want to play hard for him. Now, does he have the overall upside of Carson Beck? No, I don't think he does. May have kind of the lower ceiling of anybody we've seen of Georgia's quarterbacks here recently, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I mean, of any of Kirby's quarterbacks, you can go back to Jacob Eason. His Jacob Eason, Justin Fields. I mean, I guess Jake Fromm would be an argument with Gunnar Stockton. Some would say Stetson Bennett, but Stetson Bennett just had that factor that I don't think will ever be replicated, or very underrated from a replication standpoint. But I think Gunnar Stockton will bring that morale back, and something they were missing to have that dude at that quarterback spot. And you got to have it. You can't have kind of a low-key hanging dude and go win a bunch of championships, or to the level that Georgia's expecting to win and Kirby has got there. If you don't have that quarterback, it says, hey, guys, get on my back. I got us. You do your job. I'll do my job. We're going to win this football game. They didn't have that last year. I think they had that with Gunnar Stockton. My only thing with Gunnar Stockton would maybe be just overall upside, and can, just from an ability, physical standpoint, can he get him through it more so than the instinctual chip on his shoulder and tangible type of stuff. So there's 3 reasons right there. Honorable mention. Just wanted to mention this one. I think Elo Medozi, coming over from Army, I think could be a big one. I mean, again, you lose Michael Williams, Jalen Walker, Damon Wilson transfers Mizzou, Chaz Chambliss. You need some kind of production. There's going to be opportunities to play and get that production. I think a little bit lighter at times in the run game. I'll be interested to see how he holds up in this league in the run game. But he has a hell of a coach in Chidera Uzo-Doribe, the outside linebackers coach for Georgia. Young cat, relates to his players well. Technician, knows his craft. He'll get the most out of Elo Medozi. So I think the sack production could be there. Just be interested to see if teams will run at him. But I do think he would be a reason too. The sack production would go up on defense because I think they're going to be awesome at the second level. So those are about 3 reasons, folks. I think Georgia, because of Noah Thomas, he's that it factor on the outside, as I've already mentioned. Special teams, it's not talked about enough. Georgia's got 3 studs, 4 studs, if you want to include the returner, Zachariah Branch. And then third, I just think they have that it factor. They have that edge back at the quarterback spot that says, hey, guys, I got us. Just the overall morale of the team that they were missing last 2 years with Carson Beck, guys. But I am your college football analyst here at the SEC Unfiltered, Dave Shumate, guys. Again, longtime personnel director in the SEC across college football, 9-10 years. Love talking, chopping it up, college football. Glad we're back, guys. Glad to get this segment back and rolling, guys. But I just gave you my 3 reasons why the Georgia Bulldogs will be better in 2025. And don't forget, guys, this segment was brought to you by our buddies over at FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com/SECU to join today and get started with $250 in bonus bets when you win your first $5 bet. Guys, I hope you have a phenomenal rest of your afternoon.